Hey, good evening and welcome. My name is Rob, aka Lantern Noir. I am back with these amazing people who, for some reason, have come back for a third time to play some Dungeons and Dragons with me, which is a lot of the fun of this kind of a format. Bringing you to come in and hang out with us while we play and kibitz and suggest or just laugh at the antics that they find along the way. Quick housekeeping bit. I do want to make a point of thanking Nebula for maintaining her ongoing subscription at 38 months. You don't have to do that because you're like donating time to be here with us. But as like the first person that I subscribed to on Twitch, and as the first person to subscribe to me on Twitch, it's really great that we're still friends and hanging out, and that StDQ is still a guy I chill with from time to time, and that Luna is getting so stinking big. And it's great to have you here as part of our community. So I just want to start by saying thank you. And that being said, we should probably go around the table, introduce who we are, who we're playing. I'm going to go fishing again as for icebreaker questions to kind of help frame what we're doing tonight. And so the icebreaker question is, now that the party has found its way into Vogler, they have a whole afternoon ahead of them before the funeral for their shared friend Ispin Greenshield, the once great adventurer, then retired adventurer and storyteller, who has passed. We have all this time before this funeral is going to happen. What are they most curious to explore in the farming town on this river that Vogler is? What are some interesting things they want to look into, investigate, question, or what are they thinking their character is going to do with this time? Which will give me about 10 seconds to figure out some way to steer them to an actual plot point. So, to that end, I'm actually going to make Nebula go first because she was already been chatted with the most.
Woo! All right. Well, anyway, I am Nebula, and you can find me at nebulagaming.com and all, or on not .com, but Nebula Gaming on Twitch and on Instagrams and socials. I am playing Karina. She is the Kender Rogue, and as far as what she's going to most interested in getting up to in Vogler, I don't know. Last time I was kind of interested since we were at the tavern, which was on the river. I was kind of interested in checking out there was like a dock situation where like stuff was coming in, ships and whatnot. So I was kind of interested in checking out the docks and what's going on over there, if there's anything, maybe.
All right. We can work with that. Grace, do you mind going next?
Sure. I'm Grace, also known as Turian's Gone Wild. You can find me here on Twitch. I am playing Malerna, who is the half-elf ranger. And I guess the thing that I'm most excited about trying to get into is, I guess maybe there has to be some kind of library there because I want to go learn more about Habakkuk and maybe some of the other old gods. I think that the whole amulet situation that happened on the first day is probably still running a bit in her mind. So.
Okay. We can do something with that. Greybeard?
Greybeard of Greybeard's Tavern, and tonight I'll be playing the Dwarven Barbarian, and I at any point could sprout a fuzzy head or tail because somebody is right behind my shoulders here, so don't be surprised. She's on the neck rest right behind me. And I think Tra is most interested in visiting the puppet master that we busted up his puppet last week. I say we. Yeah, that's probably his point of interest for Vogler before funeral time. That's it for me, GB.
All right, and that takes us to last, but absolutely not least, Danae Keener of DanaeKeener.com.
That's me. I'm Danae Keener. Hi. Oh, that's my husband.
Dude's got timing.
It sure does. Today I'm playing as Phoebus, the human sorcerer, and I think that he'd probably most be interested in the shops around town. He'd be he doesn't get out very much, so he'd be interested in like all of the curiosities and curios that the town has to offer. And he guesses he might drop by the library and see if there's anything of interest there. But that's more of an obligation, I think, in his mind.
Sounds good. And my name is Rob, aka Lantern Noir. I get to be everybody else, and I am excited to continue to grow this and kind of see where y'all, what y'all find as you explore and get to know. A quick recap of previous info dumps in brief. The 4 adventurers have all journeyed into Vogler one way or another. 2 are somewhat local residents and wanderers. The other 2 have come from some distance across the land. As previously mentioned, Ispin Greenshield has touched each of their lives in some way, and they have been invited to attend his final send-off. On their way into town, they came upon a band of dragon-like creatures that had attacked several Solamnic knights. They brought the knights' remains back to the town itself and swore each other and anyone else that was present to secrecy because they weren't entirely sure, as I understand it, and someone will correct me, that everyone was ready to know there were dragon-like people running around. A beautiful cover story was hatched somewhat by accident because Tra was convinced that the dread pirate Hansen was responsible, completely misconstruing the symbol of the Dragon Queen Takisis that had been emblazoned on one of the Draconian shields. And that story seems to be taking traction as now everyone's more alert, and anyone with experience in the rivers or the waterways has seen warning flags for pirates go up to alert the fishermen and those that are merchant ships to be alert that there may be marauding bands looking to steal and pillage and be really bad eggs. They've also discovered that tomorrow in game, the town is also celebrating the Kingfisher Festival, which is an annual celebration of Vogler's founding. This is capped off with a reenactment of the Battle of High Hill, where the townsfolk of Vogler, along with the Solamnic Knights, stood off against a ravaging band of miscreants and ne'er-do-wells that had attempted to sack the city. And this reenactment is an annual event that everyone is of some excitement for, some more than others. It's an excuse, if nothing else, for the local militia to practice their skills at staying in formation and moving as a unit and other things that make the Romanesque, then Napoleonic tactics actually work. Yeah, that's kind of it for info dumping. Oh yeah, and Malerna found a magic necklace. That's probably going to be relevant, right?
Eventually, right?
So when we left off last time, you had left the mayor's house in the center of town. Gray, you said Tra is intending to head to the markets in order to investigate the puppet maker.
Yeah.
That is absolutely doable. That would be for if you're looking at the map, the markets are actually south of the Brass Crab. So right in line with all the docks. So it's all kind of located in the same general region down there in this southern tip that sticks out.
Cool. Okay.
For what it's worth, remember this section with the big half bridge was actually the start of a bridge that spanned the length of the river that was never actually completed. It's probably about, it's a fairly good distance across. The river is substantial. And now there's a ferry system that works across there with chains and pulleys. if anyone wants to cross the river for any particular reason. The city of Kalaman is across the river and a half a day's journey down if you go by foot. You do a little bit less by water if you want to. Given that our Kender also wanted to explore the docks and nothing bad could possibly come from sending a Kender into an area with lots of things that do not belong to her, I'm assuming the two of you are heading the same direction together.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. And also, since what are the sorcerer and ranger planning to do then?
I think Phoebus would start off by going to the library. Either with Mel or without, either way.
I think Mel be inspired by Phoebus going, and kind of it'll click in her head to like, oh, I should go to the library too.
Yeah. He's mostly interested in looking up the spell that the mayor wanted him to cast. And just making sure that he's even capable of doing that.
Got it.
He's the kind of guy who like practices beforehand before he does something for the first time in front of others, because the potential for failure in front of an audience is unthinkable.
So he's not a streamer.
No.
Practice. What's that? Yeah.
I think the first time he got raided, he would just have a conniption. He'd die on the spot.
I would have if I had realized during the raid that my audio was so messed up. I had an infinite loop of constructive interference and had been running it for an hour of stream. Yeah.
He'd make a great mod, though. Like,
yes. Okay. Let's see. I'm scanning the gadgeteer. All right. This will be interesting. Let's do this first. Phoebus and Malerna set out together to start looking for a place looking for a library. You wander a bit through the village, and the biggest thing that starts to click is that as many buildings as there are, there does not seem to be any dedicated place of learning. Most of the day-to-day work is done by, most of the day-to-day happenings are focused on fishing, shipbuilding and repair, and processing of fish. There's a tanner, a couple of blacksmiths, the standard things you need in order to have the economy function. But what you don't come across in your meanderings, either at the village circle, which is right there where everyone is in the middle of town, or as you start to head towards the marketplace a little bit, finally thinking maybe that will be there. Nothing really seems to be there. There are no booksellers, so to speak, even in this little community.
Bummer.
this confuses Phoebus.
I will allow the two of you a moment to ponder, and I will point out a couple of things that may interest, or if you want to brainstorm other ways to get directions to a useful place. Up on top of this rise, there is a ruined castle. That is, the tower of which is intact. The rest of the grounds are not. You can kind of just see from the way the map is laid out that this would be like, quote, the high town, as you have to go up past the keep to get to it. And it does sit significantly above the rest of the village. Also of note, this is a singular building, this U-shaped one over here. It is one of the larger, more grand buildings in town. It is also nestled at the end of a thoroughfare in a very residential area. So its purpose is hard to say. At least until you wander up and knock on the door. Or, again, come up with a different plan for information gathering. what plan have ye?
Well, Phoebus, to be honest, I'm a little disappointed that I wasn't able to show you where any of our books are in town. To be honest, I'm not somebody who regularly reads, but I would have thought that there might be other people here that would. So I'm sorry to possibly disappoint you.
Nothing to apologize for, I don't think. I've just never been to a town that doesn't have at least a small book share. It's all right. I'll see what I have in my stores. And he digs around in his bag, and he digs some more, and he's like, I seem to have misplaced something.
Well, I was planning. Oh, go ahead.
Pretty sure our sweet Kender has his tome that he got in his test from the first episode.
She was the last one seen with it.
Yep, pretty sure she still has it. Still holding on to it. Are we like?
You've wandered off.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, are we still around each other?
No.
That wisdom's awful low. I might see if Karina is willing to let me borrow hers.
Fine. I was actually looking for some specific information. I think I have a friend in town who's the tanner. I think I might go ask him, because even though we don't have anything here, I know that there's kind of like this abandoned castle, and it might be, I don't know, just a total offshoot, but maybe they might have some books that could help me with what I'm trying to look for. But I don't really know much about it. I've never really been curious about it. So I think I'm going to go ask Sean, maybe to see if he has any information about that.
Interesting. Well, depending on how old it is, I wonder if any of the literature in there would even be in common. I have to say, my curiosity is piqued.
You want to come with me?
Well, you probably shouldn't go alone. It could be structurally unsound.
Well, I would be happy to have your company.
Two heads are better than one.
Well, Sean shouldn't be too far away. I'm sure we could start heading there now.
The DM is confused. Are you going to the tannery or to the castle?
Oh, no, Sean the tanner, because you said that we're friends, or the guard said that we're friends. So I was thinking that since he is from the town and lives in the town, that maybe he would be more familiar with the castle.
Okay.
That maybe you have information, unless that's a bad plan, and then
There are no bad plans. There are only bad initiative rolls. That's a standing policy. Although now that I've said that out loud, I think that needs to be on some merch. Meanwhile, as they head off towards that, Tra and Karina make their way through the crowd of mostly people taller than them, not counting the Mohawk, into the marketplace area. It's bustling. The weather has been kind. Multiple ships have docked, and by ships I mean small sailboats, fishing boats. You are not finding ships of the line or other grand vessels here. For those familiar with the terms, a brig would be a big boat in this river. Mostly sloops and other small craft, single-masted, that bring goods back and forth along the river from further down. The market features anything you could possibly need except books. More of the whatever you need to survive in a small fishing town.
a nice include there.
Yeah, well, it's not exactly Portobello Row or anything. You'll find that
So
over in
we're-
Calamon.
So where is this puppet man person's shop? Talking to Karina.
I don't know where he is. I mean, I'm not talking as Karina right now, but
Yeah.
You can make
I
something up
don't-
to keep the roleplay going.
Okay. Oh, he's right over across the way. We can head over there now if you like.
Sounds good. And yeah, he again swinging a hammer that's, you probably got 6 to 10 inches on the halfling's height. And he's just, he's moving it around like it's nothing. And he's like, pointing at stuff and just kind of generally asking, sea town questions.
If you ask anyone for directions to Frostwind's table, they're happy to send you there.
All right.
And eventually you come around one of the corners of the various market stalls. It's not hard to pick out because nestled right next to a gentleman with a large collection of cabbages and lettuces and a large collection of freshly cleaned fish is a little stall where there is what appear to be nothing but 6 children in front of it.
Mm.
And then you will see this large, intricate griffin rise up out of the center of the children.
Mm.
5 of which will let out a massive cheer, and the other one stands there grinning as he's manipulating a collection of wooden plates. And as you get closer, you can see the very thin lines of fishbone that extend up, and as he basically makes an inverted marionette dance.
Yeah, interesting. All right. At first, when the griffin rises, Gra, double halves the hammer, like, again, monster. But he realizes, he gives it the squint eye, and he's like, "That's another puppet, ain't it?"
Yeah, and Karina's gonna nod and say, "Aye, easy now. It's just another one."
All right. I don't want to have to, owe him a second puppet. And he'll put his hammer, more relaxed across his shoulder. An approach.
What was his name again?
Frostwind.
Ross. Okay. Oi, Roswin. Good morning to you.
He looks up and he lets go of one plate to wave and then slips it back under before it can fully drop as the griffin does this downwards flying spiral. As the one plate starts to drop away, it pushes it back up. And again, to a bit of cheers as it loops in the air. The kids remain as you approach for another minute, and then they all look profoundly guilty and scatter in different directions.
Wait, just what happened?
Oh, well,
Yeah.
they had things to take care of. They weren't supposed to be lingering, but who can resist the tales of Griffith the Griffin the Great? I'm working on the
Whoa.
name. It's not a great one yet.
Yeah, workshop that a bit.
Yeah. Plus, if you notice, he always lists a little bit to port, and I can't seem to figure out how to get that out of him.
We could just knock him aside.
He looks over at you, looks up at it, looks at your hammer, looks up at it, looks over at Karina, looks terrified. We could try.
All right. And he'll just kind of one hand, like, basically to the very edge of the the mall and bump the griffin.
Make an attack roll.
All right. Hey, wait, won't it? Oh, there it goes. Oh, roll 20 is slow tonight. 17.
Okay. You get the hammer up there and you kind of tap it, and it kind of balances a little bit. He's like, nope, still leaning.
I tried.
Try again.
All right. Non-natty 23.
God. Ah, never mind. Bam! And you see little shards of fishbone trickle down onto his palms. Well, he's not listing, but he is missing a wing, a tail, and okay.
His name is pretty, but he's flying straight.
He's flying something. He kind of pulls his hands out, and the griffin lowers down with its wings flapping until he sets it on the table and disconnects a few pieces. It's really good to see you again. Excellent to see you, Karina.
Hi.
You should see this. Watch this. He turns around and he pulls out a little box. He said, "You just turn the crank."
Okay, Karina's just kind of like gonna look at that. And I mean, not like she's not scared of it, but she's kind of like looking at it suspiciously. But like it's gonna turn the crank. Little by little.
Curiosity killed the kender. Dink, dink, dink,
Yep.
dink.
Slowly turn the crank.
Turn the crank, and you can feel a little bit of tension forming as it gets a little harder to crank it. He's like, a little more, just a little bit more. You got it. And he kind of looks over at Tra and kind of winks, and then gets back to watching Karina. And just when you feel that tension, that moment where the box is going to pop open, it clicks over, and nothing happens. And then the top slowly parts to open as a very clean, neat, green and red painted collection of fishbone begins to rise up out of the box. And very slowly before your eyes, it starts to turn as a series of gears along it kick in. And what looks like nothing but a clump slowly morphs into an absolutely gorgeous blue orchid on a long, slender green stem.
Whoa.
And you see as he kind of tips it to the side so he can look at you past it to see how you react.
Oh, she's just gonna look like, dumbfounded, like, just kind of like more curious as to like how he did that type of thing, how it works, how did he get to do that? So she's gonna say, "Oh my goodness, look at that! How in the world did you fit all that in there?"
Well, it collapses, but it's all designed with a collection of springs and a bit of sinew so that its natural state. And he takes the base of it and pulls and separates the orchid from the box, holds it in this shape, and he holds it out.
Wow, that's a neat trick there.
Oh, they don't take long to make.
She's gonna
2-3 weeks.
She's gonna take the flower and then just kind of like put it in her hair.
It is perfect. Try roll me perception.
Yeah, not my forte.
I'm banking on that, but we'll see what happens.
Yep. Oh, but I rolled good. 17 minus 1 is 16.
Okay. He turns to put the box back, and you feel his elbow kind of nudge you as he turns and puts the box down.
Hey. Well, yeah, we can talk about that dragon mishap puppet thing and some other. I'm gonna go look at some other stuff. I'll catch up with you in a bit. And he just walks off awkwardly. Knitted.
He Watches as you go.
It was me. I did it. Okay. She's gonna look around and be like, oh, what is he popping off to?
Well, I just think it's very kind of him to have bought that for you. I wanted to make it a gift, but sometimes people just seem to insist on handing me money.
Oh, all right then. Didn't know. I just met him the other day. I didn't know he was gonna be so kind enough to pay for that.
It's amazing what some people will do. But he just very subtle, wasn't he, though? Just slipped it right in there.
I didn't even notice.
So you just met him and you were hanging out with him last night?
We met him on the road into town.
Oh. Did you come across the pirate?
I don't know if they were pirates, but it may have been pirates. I'm not sure.
You weren't, were you?
I mean, we came across some mighty feisty foes, but nothing we couldn't handle.
Okay. So he's not with the pirates.
Oh, no, not at all.
And you haven't seen them.
I haven't necessarily seen them per se, not really.
Oh. Well, that's good to know. I'd be very worried if anything were to happen to someone that I know personally. And we Kenderfolk, we need to stick together.
Hey, I agree.
Are you going to the battle reenactment tomorrow?
I believe so.
Excellent. All right. Maybe we'll bump into each other.
Hi, I'll see you there.
And let me know if the orchid needs a tune, because the sinew might loosen.
It's perfect. I'll let you know, though.
Awesome. I have some projects to get to.
All right, then.
Ducks
See
around
you
behind this
later.
thing and you start putting some more stuff together. Meanwhile, across town.
And I was having so much fun listening to that. I didn't even, I don't even want to jump back to us.
That's okay. I'm just impressed that Tra took I'm going to take a couple of gold out of your pocket I'm being told to leave.
Yep, that's what I thought. The elbow was like,
Successful perception check, apparently a failure on insight.
right, exactly. Also, not much use for money other than to buy booze and food. So,
Are you discounting the value of sufficient, potent, potable after the kind of week some people have had?
No, I'm saying
that would be offensive,
That's what money's for, is booze and food. What else does a barbarian need?
They say money can't buy happiness, but it can buy whiskey. That's pretty damn close. Okay, speaking of buying happiness. No, that doesn't work either. Anyway, Malerna and Phoebus are make their way over to the Tanners. The shop is not, at the moment, they are mostly doing leather work. There's no one actually preparing any hides at the moment. It's actually not as oppressively painful to smell as you approach. And Sean's happy to take a break from his work to talk to you. If you ask him about the tower, he will absolutely share with you that is where Beckett, the semi-retired knight, has made his home. He's been maintaining it for a bit.
How do you spell that?
Beckett? Like it sounds.
Beckett?
That'll work.
Perfect.
He also will make it kind of a joke that Beckett has like an official longer name that he can never quite fully remember. But Beckett also had been an adventurer who had traveled with Ispin, and has actually been spearheading the whole funeral thing. So he's been kind of in and out of town, coming down from the castle a lot more recently to check on different things.
Can you also ask Sean, since I am so close with him, can you ask him again which flowers his wife likes? Because I don't remember. And I've been wanting to get her some flowers since I'm always out in the forest.
Insert random flower there.
Perfect.
There you go.
Sunflowers. Okay. You said that he's been leaving his tower lately?
Beckett, yeah, he's been coming. It's most of it. He's up in this tower, kind of poking around at the ruins, enjoying kind of a night's retirement. It would seem. Sean will also make kind of a snarky comment at some point about, how everyone has to stay on guard duty. Everyone has to be in the militia, but Beckett just sort of sits up in that tower, doing next to nothing half the time.
Nothing's wrong with a bird's eye view, Sean. Okay, so it's a pretty quick conversation then.
Yeah.
And then I guess we'll skedaddle out of there.
Head towards the Thornwall Keep, as it's called.
Phoebus, you ready to intrude on some old knight's living situation?
I wouldn't call it intruding. A visit to a local who evidently has some connections to us. He will be participating in the funeral tonight, so maybe we should just get to know him.
That sounds like a great plan.
Awesome. You make your way back across the town, and head up towards the keep. At the base of the road, right where it's... That's not where I wanted to be. This is where I want to show you where I'm thinking. Let me update the map, too. We've got Tra and Karina are down chilling at the market. You're making your way across town over here. So right around there-ish, this little fork, before you head up. Sorry about that. You can see a group coming down the road towards you. One of the number is wearing the black and silver armor that you saw on the men attacked on the road. He has a thick black beard that hangs down. No, he doesn't. Start that thought over. He's clean shaven with these long, black, thin mustaches that hang down either side of his mouth. He's holding a horned helmet under his arm, and he's looking fairly stoic. And with him is a young woman, probably mid-20s, with this very fine, very almost white blonde hair that's pulled up under a kerchief, except for where it spills out over her shoulders, who looks a little bit shaken as they walk down the road. If you want, you can let them pass you without comment, as neither one's really looking for any travelers.
You said comment, right?
Yes.
Okay, I what I heard could also have been combat. So I'm just clarifying.
Hang on, let me get my combat map. Okay, session 3. Pick the fight with a Slavnik knight. Got it.
I cast fireball centered on myself.
I don't know, you might survive it this time. You got more hit points.
It's true.
Level 2, baby. Just one more good milestone and you'll be at the permanent level most players end up at.
So, okay, so you said that he was holding like a helmet with horns, and we wouldn't recognize that from any of the men that
it's the same style.
I mean, does it look like a helmet that is his? It's his helmet?
It's his.
Or is he like
more than likely?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. It's
I
more
was like,
likely
or
his.
is he carrying it with some reverence, like,
No.
Yeah,
my
like
fallen friend?
Yeah, like we saw it last night, kind of thing. Like, oh, that's the helmet from one of those guys. Okay.
No, he's just walking out without his helmet on, but he has his full Salamnik armor.
And the knight that we're going to see would probably be Solamnik as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the kind of knight that is in this world. Okay.
That's the big knightly
Cool.
order in the area.
Cool.
No comment from me, but we'll obviously see. I feel a bit sad for the woman that's crying.
Yeah. Just like sort of politely look away, like, oh, what an interesting bird suddenly over there.
I think I'll have more pitying eyes while they're walking by.
As you... Okay, let's do this.
Okay. Roll initiative.
Is everyone's way of learning Rob's tells. When Rob does certain things, you should be scared. Was that one of those things? Don't know.
Well, maybe. We'll see.
No. Rob, this one. You do what? That's the one you want to be afraid of.
Oh no.
I haven't done it yet, have I? Okay. Yeah, if the glasses are off, that's a bad sign.
Or
As
you've got
you-
something in your eye.
As you pointedly avert your gazes, Malerna's going to glance off to the side and immediately lock eyes with a kingfisher bird that's perched on this little bit of railing.
Okay.
And she just sort of looks at you and then kind of cocks her head and pointedly turns it towards the knight and his companion. And then cocks it
Okay.
back to you.
I think that Mel is going to feel a sense of panic and then an immediate sense of obligation, but also like obligation to listen to the bird, and is just going to jump in front of the people. Very quickly, knowing that she has nothing to say. And while she's gaping for a second, is going to say, "I'm sorry, sir. Are you a Solamnik knight?"
The pained expression it concerns me.
She's going to be doing exactly what I'm feeling in that moment, which is, I got to do something. I have no idea what. It's a very panicked, quick, without thought reaction.
He takes a moment and then he kind of pulls himself up once it's processed that you've stepped in front of him. And he very politely takes a moment to set his helmet under his arm. A pleasure. I am indeed. Sir Tarek, if you wish. And he actually bows to you.
She's going to reciprocate that bow out of reaction, probably.
Meanwhile, what's Phoebus doing?
Just eyebrows raised, slowly turns. Okay, we're doing this. He'll walk up and stand at Mel's elbow. And just sort of like let her lead the way here. He's still trying to get an idea of what her intent is. He can't talk to birds.
And then she'll kind of jump into, because this whole time just trying to think what could possibly be said. Sir Tarek, I'm so sorry to bother you. We came across some Solamnik knights last night that we had found while walking back to the forest. And again, she's kind of saying this sentence as it's coming up in her brain. So it's not like really, it's going to be obvious that it's not very well thought out, I guess. And that she doesn't really know what she's trying to say. But it's basically, she's going to go like, we came across some knights. We just brought them back I just wanted to see if there was
Friend.
any information
Friend.
on
Your service to the knighthood and the order has been noted. Sir Beckett had mentioned that someone had brought these men back. We are in your debt for ensuring they receive a proper burial.
Not at all, sir.
It can be hard to see the effects of bandits upon the road. We are grateful. And this is Bethan. She was close with one of those. And she takes a moment and give me an insight check for the two of you. I know, it's always a shot. Maybe Phoebus is going to roll well.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like historically, he's been rolling nat 20s on stuff that he's supposed to be bad at. So
Oh no. I've been rolling even though my insight is +4, I've been rolling so bad. I got 7.
yeah,
total.
not today. 6.
Okay, cool. That happens.
Her name was Bethan, right?
Bethan,
Bethan, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm sure that this is so devastating. It must be so hard for you.
told them it was stupid. And she kind of glances up at the night. Goes, it's all stupid. Playing at heroes. It's a fool's errand. My father was right. He never should have joined. You weren't there to stop the cataclysm. You weren't there to protect people. You're just a bunch of stuffed shirts, overdressed loudmouths. And then she starts to walk.
Bethan, wait.
Phoebus is going to take Mel's arm. Probably best to let her go.
She actually pauses and turns back, and there's a look where you can't tell if it's anger or sorrow.
Bethan, we don't all get to choose how we die, but dying in a service that we believe in is a beautiful way to go. And I hope that gives you some kind of comfort.
We were going to be married. And he probably wasn't even thinking about me.
Mel's going to be quiet. I'm so sorry. That's so heartbreaking.
He joined the order and all but forgot everyone at home.
You were probably the strength that kept him going every single day.
Roll me an intelligence check, please.
Okay.
Just straight intelligence. And just for giggles, Phoebus can do the same thing.
Please give me a good roll. Please, please, please. Okay.
I am passing you a Zoom note, I'm assuming. What did it come up as?
16.
16. Here is a Zoom note.
Don't worry about me. I got it too. Phoebus is like, oh no, emotions.
I'm trying to see how I even do a Zoom note.
Well, you've been chatting in it.
Oh, it's in the same one?
It's in the chat. I'm just going to send it just to you.
Yeah. There's a tab that says
Oh,
like
everyone,
to everyone,
and then
and
just
then you can
got it.
You can specify who you are sending to.
Perfect. Yes. Okay. It's clicking. In that moment, I reach into my pocket and I pull out the lock of white blonde hair tied up with a crocheted bow, and I hold it and reach it out to her.
Oh my god.
She like freezes. Where did you get that?
I found it on one of the soldiers It didn't seem meaningful at the time, and I'm sorry that you're finding it in this way. But I would think that he would want you to have this.
You feel a armored glove come down onto your shoulder.
Ugh, I'm gonna get in trouble.
It was good of you to bring that up to the castle for Sir Beckett. The knight behind you says. Kindness is the hallmark of nobility. Bethan takes the hair and kind of stares at it a bit. It seems like shocked into silence. I'm going to go have. I think I'm going to go to the fishbowl. I think have a drink.
Is there any opening? Because I think that all of us as humans can see an opening to where a hug is either really weird and creepy or that it could be warranted in that moment.
Sure, roll insight.
Does it seem... Oh, great. Okay.
As someone
Hopefully
who has misread that moment, yes. You have a chance of knowing when it's appropriate.
Oh my God. That was a really bad roll that changed last second to a good roll. I got an 18.
She kind of just wants to go. She needs some
I'm
space.
just going to bow then. I'm just going to do like a quick little bow.
And she kind of makes her way along, and the knight lets her have a few steps as he stands there and then finally removes his hand from your shoulder. Whatever your intentions were, as he puts his helmet back on, you have made good by one young lady today. And he'll start to walk. As he makes his way down behind Bethan, you can see perched on that fence the blue kingfisher. And it's just sort of like bouncing around a little bit, and it kind of fluffs its wings and looks at you and then cocks its head with like a question.
I'm going to, because Mel in her heart, while she didn't realize what was going to happen, where it was going, she feels so much gratitude, I guess, in that moment. And I think she's just going to nod to the bird, and hopefully the bird gets it. Because I think it's way too far away for me to cast Speak with Animal. So.
Oh gosh, no.
What?
It's not that far away.
It's too late now. It's too late now.
You sure?
Sure.
I'm not against it.
Sure. Okay. I cast for the first time ever Speak with Animals.
Meanwhile, Phoebus gobsmacked, just, how did you know to do that? And then, like, magic at the bird. Magic.
Let me check something. This might actually not be that impressive. Oh, nope, it is. Verbal and semantic components. So, yes, for a few seconds, without really knowing how she's doing it, Malerna will actually reach out and you can see a bit of blue light form in her hand. And then she starts chirping.
This blows Phoebus's fucking mind.
As Phoebus takes a step back, we check in on the dwarf and the kender.
I mean, Kender and Kender, right? That's where we left the scene. Tra had walked off, so they could have their moment of Kenderhood.
I'm guessing Karina's caught back up to you, having watched Frostwind go work on some more puppets.
Karina, I think after her conversation, like kind of just turned around and like scanned the area for Tron and like spotted him and like spotted his hammer most likely, and and then made her way over there.
And as you approach, turns and says, well now, seems that I looked at my sheet and I can speak Kender. And he suddenly is speaking Kender to you. And,
All this time, and you could speak Kender and you didn't tell me.
and so yeah, so then I'll switch back to Tra voice, but yeah, he's speaking now that he knows we have a common language, he'll probably try to speak that more often when it's just the two of us, so that
I love that.
folks
I love
around.
the idea that Tron knew this language, just didn't know that it was Kender.
Yeah, there it is. He picked it up in the pits, not knowing that it was Kender, and then all of a sudden, he caught
it. Does
it.
sound different when it's not being screamed at someone that you're actively trying to impale.
Yeah, exactly. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, he'll say something like, "So you and the puppet man, you're like a couple?"
No, he's just a really good friend from a long time now since I moved here.
Well, he gave me the nudge to like walk away so you guys could talk.
I don't know. I just know that he's really nice to me. And he likes to make cute little puppets and trinkets for me, which I love.
Well, it's a good friend to have. So this is just fish and rope here, kinda. So
there's not much else around here. Lot of fishing, but nothing much.
More drinking.
Aye, that too. Their fishermen love to get their drink after the fishing is done.
As you wander closer to the river itself, you can see that several wreaths are being hung over one of the docks. Each one is wrapped with black and silver ribbon. And a handful of people are working to organize it, to clean it up. One person in particular kind of sticks out as superintending and overseeing the process. I'm double checking the stats on this individual. There it is. And also sticks out from the rest of the crowd. I thought I was going to get that right. For being herself also a dwarf.
All right. So I think for Karina would see Tra like goes to like call out to the other dwarf, and then he something like he gets like a twitch in his eye, and he kind of like turns like he's not gonna say anything to the other dwarf, and just starts walking kind of away.
And Karina's gonna notice what happened, and she's gonna kind of say, "Hey, Tra, is everything okay? Do you know that dwarf over there?"
No, can't say I do. Just sometimes it doesn't go. Face your fears. And he walks back, and he'll say, "Oh, is this for Isbin's funeral or for Mighty Poke Each Other with Sticks Day?" Like pointing at the decorations.
That's to the dwarf?
Yeah, to the dwarf.
She kind of turns for a second and looks at you, and almost with a surprise that when she actually starts to look up and has to bring her vision down to be in line with you. So you're
Nice.
like eye to eye, but there's a moment where you could tell like a habitual like, well,
Right.
kind of moment. And she's for Ispin, of course.
Mm.
Did you know him?
I did.
Travel with him too myself.
And Tra gets a very genuine smile, but then it's awkward and weird, and he just kind of like, that commiserating old companion sort of thing. He's like, well, maybe we'll see you there. We'll Tra, and he puts out a big paw.
She clasps it with her own. Introduces herself as Ridomir Iron Smile.
Nice.
But you can just be calling me Cudgel. Which I see you have a similar proclivity.
he kind of wrinkles his face and says, "You mean hitting stuff with a hammer?"
Or anything with a flat front to it. What's the point in splitting the flesh when you can just crush the bone behind it?
Right. And usually they come apart anyway. So.
Exactly. It's about efficiency, right?
Well met, and I suppose we'll catch you later on and maybe drink a few. Oh, and this is Karina.
Nice to meet you.
And she reaches out her hand for you as well.
And Karina reaches right back out and says, "It's a pleasure."
It's always good to be. It amazes me. Never ceases to amaze me how many people it's been new.
Indeed. Seems like everyone knew him.
Yeah.
There's so many people here.
Seems all over the land.
People from all over have traveled far to get here just for him.
Some that didn't even be wanting to, ain't that? And she turns up to one of the guys that's hanging the stuff. Yes, Captain. And he puts another wreath up and starts pounding in the nail behind it. It's good for them to do a bit of community service. That's been all their time marching up and down. It's more to life than just making money and killing things. Just getting drunk.
That was downfall, and then he smiles up again. Speaking of, let's go get something to eat. Maybe a warm up for drinking later.
A bite sound good.
Well, it's good to meet you, Karina. I'll see you later. And you, Tra. It's good to see another kin out and about.
Aye. We'll see you around.
Ugh. Did you get roped in yet by the mayor to that reenactment tomorrow?
We were invited. I don't know if we're going.
Nah. Well, I'm hoping you take up with the militia. It'll be good to square off against you on the field. And she winks at Tra.
And so is she part of the militia, or is she part of the iron guys who are the mercenaries?
She definitely looks like she makes a living killing things.
Okay. All right.
I'll give you that without the insight check. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's a mercenary.
Yeah. Well, good. Oh, maybe this got a little more interesting. I was kind of like bored of it, but poking with sticks. And then he'll smile and I guess, head off to back to the crab, maybe, since it's kind of on the way back.
Okay. Meanwhile, Malerna talks to a bird.
Oh.
What
I'm ready.
exactly do
Let's
you
do it.
say to the bird?
What was that?
The bird kind of cocks its head. What was that?
Was I supposed to talk to them like that? What was the meaning of that?
Did someone's life become better?
I hope so.
Did you improve the natural order?
I would like to think so.
That's exactly what my followers should do.
I think that there's going to be a sense of panic at hearing that line specifically, kind of a quickening of the heartbeat. I don't think she'll really have anything else to say, because I think that the idea of speaking to a god directly is still putting an absolute sense of panic into her.
And the bird kind of bounces to the left, bounces to the right, and then as much to you as to itself says, I chose well. And then it takes off almost straight at Phoebus and kind of just banks really quick off to the side.
Full on ducks, just like flailing.
Which, for the record, Phoebus just watched as Malerna chirped at a bird that chirped back and then flew off, leaving Malerna looking panic struck.
Mel is just going to turn to Phoebus and say, okay, ready to continue onward?
What?
I think it's just a little bit more up this road. You ready?
You were just talking to the bird.
I'll have to tell you more about it over a drink.
Yeah. I imagine that he follows Mel up, trying to like mentally come to terms with that. Like, what the heck was that? And what does it mean? And how is it possible?
And Mel is not interested in explaining right now.
Yeah.
That was so awkward. Everything that happened, while it does feel better and it did feel good, doesn't take away from the fact that it was all witnessed by Phoebus, who, like, we're still getting to know each other. It was embarrassing. And exactly, I was talking to a bird. It was weird. I just want to go.
I mean, like, I've got a question. Like,
Yes.
Looking it up. Maybe I should just look it up. Hold on. Speak with animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Speak with animals is a like it's bard, druid, ranger.
Mhm.
Like is this a spell that would technically be lost to time in this setting? Is this something that would be like unlike anything Phoebus has ever seen before?
Sure, roll history.
I'm
Again.
gonna be honest. I originally thought when I had read this spell, again, I wrote this all like a month ago of all the things that I chose. I 100% thought it was just in the brain. So that's why when Rob was like, oh, she just starts chirping, I was kind of shocked myself.
Oh,
I got a 1.
you got a 1.
I got a 1. Which is better than a negative 1, which I could have gotten.
Oh, wait. The last time you guys got a 1 on a history check, I had real fun with you. Hang on.
Oh, God.
No, I'm not. Okay. What I'm going to do is say, Phoebus has no idea.
Yeah. No, he's gobsmacked.
Almost
Like,
did.
This.
Oh, go ahead.
It's outside of his understanding of how magic works. Like, most things have some sort of lunar alignment. And as far as he knows, she is not a lunar wizard in any way, shape, or form.
Nope. No spell components, no pouches, no spell book. What I almost did was pass you a note and say, Phoebus remembers a story that the Dark Queen of Dragons could teach her followers to speak with animals.
Oh no!
But
Oh,
no. You've had enough misdirective drama already. I'm not that mean.
Do you trust me? Do you trust me?
I do, and that's why I didn't do it.
Oh, because
Ah.
I love some inter-party drama. I could play that up.
That's not drama. That's like Death Wish.
It depends.
Fair.
But yeah, Phoebus is just kind of gobsmacked, and so he'll just continue to follow her, trying to work things out in his own mind.
Carry the 3, divide by 6. Nope, that doesn't work.
Ah, god damn it! I can't do math in my head.
You make your way up towards the tower, and as you reach the main gate, you are again passed by someone. She's wearing a simple blouse that's belted off, and in lieu of breeches, kind of like about knee length, broad pants, and almost double as like a long dress, and fairly well worn leather boots. Her long black hair is all kind of tied back in a ponytail, and she apologizes as she dodges around you, almost as if she's from the Midwest. But
Let me just scooch on past you there.
Yeah. For good or bad is like past you and kind of jogging towards town before you can say anything.
I think that shakes Phoebus out of his conniption. And he's like, well, who do you suppose that was in such a hurry?
Did she bump into us real quick? Did she?
No, she slipped right around you, no problem.
Oh, okay.
As said, gonna slide right past you there. Sorry about that.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't recognize her.
Not from around here, huh?
I think that Mel in her head was like, well, neither are you, but
when you come up into the tower, like the entryway, the space is fairly well cleaned, maintained. Several books and boxes are organized on tables. Different artifacts have been laid out for study. You can see several magnifying glasses up on stands, and other tools of excavation. An older gentleman wearing a very simple white shirt tucked into black pants glances up from one of the books as you come in. He's got white that just streaks back into his hair on either side. That shows his age, and a very neatly trimmed white mustache.
Doctor Strange? Just kidding.
But older. But sure, if we want to say it's played by a Benedict Cumberbatch 30 years from now, I'm down for that. And that's fair. I mean, you can see there's still a certain noble regality, but he's definitely a retired gentleman. Looks up. How can I help you?
Hello there. Did we get his name? What was his
Sir
name?
Beckett.
Sir Beckett. Sir Beckett, I presume?
Oh, please. Beckett is perfectly fine. I don't recognize you. I believe I've seen you about.
Yes, sir. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No. Please go ahead.
In a more formal way, I should perhaps introduce myself then. Skim. Sir Beckett Uth Viharen. And he takes a moment to gently bow a little bit towards Phoebus. And you, sir?
Oh, Phoebus. Good to meet you. He also bows.
Oh, I'm so glad you were able to make the journey.
Pardon?
The invitation. I sent most of them to those who had known Ispin in life. Is your master with you?
Oh, afraid not. Only Tra.
Tra? Oh, the stories I've heard about that character. Oh, and Phil half these books here.
Yes,
course.
I'm sure that he'll have plenty to share.
Yes, well, hopefully they'll be more true than the ones Ispin was telling.
Well, we shall see.
And he kind of waves his finger. Wait. Belerna.
Sorry, did he say Valerna or Malerna? I didn't
He
hear.
did not get your name right. He missed it by the first letter.
Yes, sir. Valerna.
Phoebus gives her some.
I don't want to correct. I don't want to correct.
Yeah, Phoebus
was-
just looks at her for a second. Can I roll an insight check to see if she's being nervous or just going with it?
Actually, I'd like, under the circumstances, I kind of want Grace to also roll Mel's deception check.
Oh, okay.
14.
I got an 8.
Okay. That's pretty good. Let's see. Let me check his stat block for a quick second.
I want to get all of my bad rolls out in these social situations.
That's legit. Well, it's good to see the two of you up. And Valerian, I'm glad to see that you're coming in for the funeral, I presume. And Phoebus, while your master could not be present, I'm glad that he sent someone in his stead. What's he up to?
That's a good question. Do I know?
Probably not.
I'm afraid teacher's business is kept close to his chest. Not even I am kept aware.
Keeping secrets from your squires is a sure way to end up without a squire and without a decent set of armor.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not a squire, merely an apprentice.
You can actually see the gear click before he goes, what would the difference be?
Phoebus doesn't know how to respond to that, and quickly changes the subject. Well, we came up here. He looks at Malerna and says, "Vel," to. We came up here to inquire about perhaps some literature. There were a few things that we wanted to look into, and there does not seem to be a library in town.
Oh, no, it's a very quiet place that way. It's a quiet village, you might say.
Libraries are about the quietest place you can be.
Well, yes, but when you end up in a small provincial town, you can't expect too much.
I'm sorry. It
Even
was
Belle
so
from Beauty and
good.
the Beast had a library. That was a small provincial town. Sorry.
And did not have a library. It had some poor guy who never sold a book.
That's true. He did just keep on giving them away.
Yes.
Because she was the only one who read.
Yes.
Anyway.
And never bought them.
How was that guy living?
I know.
He had a dark, shady under business.
Yeah, clearly
Something
it was
with the triplets, maybe. Ugh.
Terrible. Oh my god. Okay.
And this is all 5 of us sober.
Yeah, right. Regardless, I was wondering if there was in fact some reference here that we could partake in, if you were willing.
I've collected a few books over the years. Is there something of interest to you?
Yes. Could you do you have anything on thaumaturgy?
Well, those books are very tightly controlled by the Tower of High Sorcery. Now, that's not to say I may not have acquired 1 or 2 collector's editions over the years. Give me a
If
moment.
you'd be willing to let me have a peek?
Well,
I'm an apprentice, after all.
of course. And so one would actually probably argue that if I have such books, you would be the first person I've seen in some time, and I should relinquish them to you, as said representative of the tower.
Oh, I don't see any
Oh, no,
reason
nope.
for that.
I wouldn't want to cause trouble. You've
Sir
come knocking
Beckett.
at my door demanding to see every spellbook I have.
Sir Beckett,
Oh.
Sir Beckett.
Let's not say
Books
that
are
I'm
so
a man.
heavy. Please don't make me carry those.
All in good time. Why don't you help yourself? There's a pitcher of water there and a bit of a wine next to it. Have yourself something while I hop upstairs to see what I can find. I would avoid the cheese. I think it's turning.
Thank you.
I kind of turn to Phoebus and say, I'm not going to have anything here, but you please feel free to go ahead.
Why do you not? Do you feel is something off?
I just don't know this guy. So no, he doesn't seem terrible. I'm probably not going to have anything.
He just shrugs, pours a glass of water, sniffs it,
It smells non-salted.
sips it. It's water.
Eventually, Beckett will come back down from the upper levels with a small stack of books. Now, I'll be quite honest, I can't make out most of what's in these, but I think one of them might do. And he kind of offers them out towards Phoebus in this kind of stack with all the bindings showing.
He'll walk up and just sort of like peruse the bindings, like looking at titles, trying to see if there's anything that would be relevant to what he's looking for. Also, while he's here, he's going to keep an eye out for any sort of strange fauna that might be related to the Dragon Queen, i.e. giant lizard men who attack knights on the road. Did I say Raven Queen? I meant Dragon Queen.
Yeah, Raven Gods are the other campaign I often run.
Yeah.
That's a different game.
And then is this the right time to bring up that I'm looking for books about Habakkuk?
You're welcome to. He before we get to that, he is able to, as Phoebus goes through the books, he is able to find a book that seems to be focused on theories of transmutation. That as you slide it out and start to flip through
I
it.
will say, thaumaturgy is a cleric spell.
Huh.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it because tieflings have it.
Huh. Well, guess what? In this world, it's on scrolls.
Yay! And like as like different people have different rules for this. Rules as written, scrolls, in order to be able to use them, they have to be on your spell list. Like, not you know the spell personally, it just has to be on your class's spell list. Now most people waive that rule. Is that the way that you
Well, let's just say that this gets really awkward if we have to make sure that we figure out how to teach the ranger how to cast off a scroll while she's already dealing with the fact that she just talked to a god and the sorcerer is standing there looking like a knob.
Who's having? I'm having to do the spell.
Well, rules is written. If someone is going to cast thaumaturgy, it would have to be you. So we're not going to play rules as written.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
Perfect.
I mean,
perfect.
I only ask because it fits within Phoebus's theme to not be able to cast certain spells, and like that would. I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, Phoebus is going to look in this book on transmutation.
Well, we'll do this. We will we will hand wave the fact that Phoebus took 10. Actually, given the time you have, you could take 20 on your Arcana check.
Aha!
Because there's plenty of time to take 20 on it.
Nice.
Or at least take 10. So
With enough time, even those with dyslexia can read a hefty book.
yeah, absolutely. So that said, Phoebus has found something to start to flip through, which, to be fair, isn't in the weirdest series of glyphs and things, and it's definitely not your mainstream magic. There's even a whole chapter in the book on hang tight. What's the chapter on? Oh, it would help if I had the right book in front of me. There it is. That one. Branchala. And that's all written in common, at least. But there's a whole section on the god of music, poetry, and the inner beauty of all living things.
That's Branchala, you said?
Yeah. Just sort of tucked in the middle of this book on magic.
Yeah. Which I imagine you could probably see over Phoebus's shoulder.
I'm just gonna I'm just kidding, but like I could just rest my head on your shoulder while you're reading and just read. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But...
Oh, so saucy.
It's only the third session. We can't get to that until the fifth.
Oh no. The opening salvo is totally third session material.
No. Slow burn.
Fair point.
Okay. So sorry. Just for I know this is probably annoying for everybody. I'm just keep writing notes. Branchala is the god of inner beauty, you said, and what?
Music, poetry, and inner beauty.
Okay. I think that Mel will see a little bit of it, but since it's not pertaining to what she's hyper focusing on, I think that she's gonna be probably like, oh, well, thank you for showing that to me, and then kind of politely move on from it.
Does Phoebus find anything on thaumaturgy?
Oh yeah, there's multiple sections. Some of the diagrams are a little hard to make out, but if you give it another couple hours, you'll have it totally locked in.
Awesome. Well, thaumaturgy has vocal components, so I imagine he's just like looking for the magic words and practicing saying them out loud and making sure that he's got them correct.
Yep.
As opposed to, like showing up and like a total doofus mispronouncing the magic words off the scroll. Like, ugh, how embarrassing.
While Phoebus is flipping through that, Beckett will look at Mel and, is there something I might help you with? Or the bread's still good?
Oh, that's fine, my good sir. I was specifically looking for a book about the god Habakkuk. I don't know if that's something that's in your wares at all.
A book about a god?
I'm sure there's probably stories about them or anything. I know that we are living in a world without gods, but I do like a good story every once in a while.
We're not living in a world without gods. We're living in a world the gods abandoned.
Understood, my good sir. Sorry, I had a very limited education growing up. I heard more stories from Ispen rather than how the real world works.
He kind of looks you over. What's your interest in them?
I have a lot of time out in the woods by myself, and it's just something that could keep me interested in the late nights rather than staring off into the darkness. Why?
It's not a topic you usually see a young lady who makes a living bringing in deer and rabbit. Are you quite certain that's the book you would want? My squire has a few books she's squirreled away that might suit your fancy better.
I would be very interested in that.
There's one of the
unless you have
Gentleman
any
Pirate,
romances.
I think is one. There's another rather interesting tale of a young man who makes his trade a bit like yours, and as she describes it, is quite handsome around town, and that might be a book that fits you better than reading up about the gods that abandoned us.
Well, there's nothing wrong with having 3 or 4 books that I could bring back to you within an amount of time, almost like a checkout system. I'm happy to read of all different subjects, fiction, nonfiction.
I'll see. Let me give me a moment. Have something to eat. I will go see what I can find. And then he, instead of turning and going upstairs, he backs towards the stairs to watch you more.
I will hold his eyeline.
So Beckett, if you're going back upstairs, would you mind looking for something on the Dragon Queen for me?
He kind of like, first he looks at Phoebus, and then at Mel, and back at Phoebus.
Is that
and your friends of Ispin?
Yes?
Ispin was my uncle, basically.
Mm-hmm. He heads upstairs.
Fully not grokking his suspicion.
I'm going to turn to Phoebus in that moment and say, after he's gone out of sight and seems to be somewhat out of earshot, I'm kind of whisper, so who is the Dragon Queen? I thought that was from a story.
Oh, well, she is from a story, which is very concerning as to why there's someone out there trying to pretend to be her.
So you think it's somebody kind of like playing dress up?
Well, they would have to be.
I don't know.
There are no gods in this world anymore.
Is the Dragon Queen a god? I don't know anything about the Dragon Queen.
Yes, as far as I know.
Well, I'd love to learn anything that you learned, so.
Well, we'll see if he's able to find anything.
If he even trusts us enough to give us anything. He seems to be a little wary of us at this point.
Is he?
I don't know. He was kind of mad dogging me on the way back up the stairs.
Mad dog.
Mad wolfing, if you will.
Why?
I'm not sure.
Meanwhile, across town, I don't want to leave Greybeard and Nebula out of anything. What mischief are you two trying to get into?
Think we were headed back for the crab, right?
Yeah,
All
the
right.
brass crab.
It's not hard to find your way there again.
And maybe we're drinking it up and singing in Kender speak, since I've realized I know her language. So basically it's like Irish drinking songs, but
Right.
you know.
Right, that's
like-
fair.
Or I'm teaching her dwarven drinking songs, but we're trying to sing them in Kender speak.
Yes, I love that. I think I can see them with like a couple grogs in their hands,
Mhm.
like rocking back and forth.
Yeah.
Singing.
Yalme will definitely keep you two well stocked.
All right.
And we'll also, at every time she tops off a tanker, will remind you that there will be storytelling tonight, and you will be ready for it. And if you're drinking up this much stock now, she fully expects 2 stories each from you, told from that bar to a packed house.
All the stories.
Every story I can tell, I'll tell it to anyone who will listen.
Black mugs.
Cheers.
Great. So you two are going to start tonight's events off at disadvantage
Woo!
Great.
The power of the hangover.
Mm.
All right. So if that's what you two are up to, I will let you two do that. Beckett comes down the stairs with a pair of books. And he weighs them in his hands a few times as he's glancing at Mel. He kind of takes a glance over at Phoebus. He still looks a little concerned, but he's working through it. And he'll turn.
Phoebus fully doesn't notice, just has his nose back in the original book.
He then will kind of turn it at Mel. I'm afraid I found 2 books that you might consider. This one, I do not believe my squire has started to read yet. It's the tale of a man who sold his soul to pursue a woman, who then threw herself off the cliff behind the castle. And what followed was centuries of sorrow as he sought to reunite with her soul. I hear it's
Lovely
quite the
bedtime
love story.
literature.
Quite the love story. And this is a tale of old folk stories from the forests that I believe the name Habakkuk appears in a few times. I'm afraid she would be so cross if I lent both books out. And he studies you as he relates this.
One, unfortunately, sounds very tragic. A little too much depth for me in a love story, but the folk story seems like it would be very fascinating. I would very much like to borrow that one if your squire wouldn't be too bothered to lend it out.
Fair enough. He hands the book over.
Thank you, sir.
Still not quite sure why a young lady of the forest is so fascinated by a god that's not just long dead, but long forsaken us.
Is that how you view the gods? With the disdain that I'm hearing from you?
Generations ago, this land was racked by disaster wrought upon the gods. The gods brought down upon us. And the Slamnik knights bore the brunt of the blame. For generations, my order was shunned, spat upon for failing to do enough to stop a god from bringing its wrath down. And then they had the audacity to leave us. So yes.
Sorry
Please
you
shift to
faced
state.
that. I hope that you know that not all of us view your order in that way.
I heard you had brought the remains of the knights to town.
Phoebus as well. It wasn't just me. We had 4 companions that brought them in.
I appreciate that. As did the young lady, I'm sure, to know what had become of her paramour.
I'm sure it would have been better for them all to have come home alive.
They are going to miss a party tonight, aren't they? Speaking of which, I should get back to my notes. It would be inappropriate for me as the organizer to not have a few good stories of Ispin to share. I will see you tonight, I hope.
Yes, sir. Thank you for putting this all together.
Absolutely. And far be it for me to offer advice to a lady, but never be afraid to correct a man who misses your name, no matter what his station.
And then I'm going to say, yes, sir, Mr. Deckett.
And he will laugh. Well played.
I will see you tonight, sir.
And then as you start to leave, he will take a moment to kind of catch Phoebus's elbow. And he goes,
Huh? What?
She still hasn't corrected me. What is it?
Wait.
Nods
Hold on.
at
I thought I had.
Mel.
I thought I had it. Wait. Is it? Hold on. Did she tell you something different?
What is the young lady's name?
I've been terrified that I've had it wrong this entire time.
One of us has it right.
Well, it's either Valona or Melona.
What did she tell you it was?
I thought I heard Melona,
Okay,
but then she said Valona.
I said, go. Kids these days. All over my lawn.
Did he give me a dragon book?
No.
Dang it.
But we do have a beautiful spot to pause because we're going to jump to the funeral.
Oh
Oh.
boy.
What goodness.
It'll be a good time. I do need a second to stretch. So we're going to take a 5-minute break. I'm going to run some clips from the channel. Everybody who's hanging out, thank you for coming by and taking part in this amazing bit of roleplay tonight. Like, this has just been fun. I always love sessions where, and we're not even done yet, but I'm already down. Like, I love sessions where there's a moment I can't breathe because I'm laughing so hard. Like, that's a hallmark. We're in a good track. So let's take 5, top our water, top our beverages, snack if you need to, smoke if you got them, and we'll see y'all back here in a couple of minutes.
Gotta warn you guys. Blood spilled for revenge looks a lot like blood spilled for every other reason.
She blew up my best friend.
That blood might look better. I didn't know that. Sorry.
It was just
Just
Before
walk
you
that one
arrived.
back a little bit away.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. Like, do we think it's gonna follow us?
Yeah, can
I'm
we
sure it will.
outrun it? Yeah, I was gonna say, can we outrun it, or is it like something that's just gonna follow us no matter where we go?
I don't think we can outrun it. I mean, it's not going to come any closer for a bit.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're gonna have to fight
Well,
it.
we could take shelter in the smoldering ruins, right? Because
I don't know if that's gonna help.
We
it's
don't
probably
know
just...
what's in the smoldering ruins.
Well, it couldn't be any worse than this.
We could
Oh,
come
yes,
across...
it could!
We could come across like another giant creature, and then we're fighting 2 at the same time. And then
But
it's
it
terrible.
could be like Godzilla versus King Kong. So if we run into something even nastier, maybe it won't want to eat us. It'll go after the other thing because they're legends and they have to fight. That's how that works.
No, or they team up against us.
You've had a very
Yeah.
fortunate life, haven't you?
Punch the... No, I know that's a bad idea.
There is so much nope surrounding this trap. I am not here for an amulet. I am here for a traumatized rogue. Let's get the fuck out of here. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's 2.
Well, I wasn't really concerned about the amulet. I just thought that
Well, I did change the damage on the last one, but I didn't do anything to this one. So technically, I did not try the same trick. I tried a different one.
I feel like he's just
And now
flipping
I'm
her
going
off
to
right now.
hide. Thank you very much. It's going to be like, please don't look at me. Hello. Cheerio.
Roll a charisma
Hello,
check.
Gov. Okay. She's not very charismatic.
That's what'll make this funny.
Congratulations, you've taunted Strahd.
Oh no. Jenna now realizing the consequences of Jenna's actions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not meaning to be taunted. I'm really just trying to get the information. Like, what are the terms and conditions? You didn't let me know.
I'm gonna go. Common, mother clucker. Do you speak it? We need some information. I'm not sorry, by the way.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. Like, do we think it's gonna follow us?
Yeah, can
I'm
we
sure it will.
outrun it? Yeah, I was gonna say, can we outrun it, or is it like something that's just gonna follow us no matter where we go?
I don't think we can outrun it. I mean, it's not going to come any closer for a bit.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're gonna have to fight
Well,
it.
we
out.
can take shelter in the smoldering ruins, right? Because
I don't know if that's gonna help.
We
It's probably
don't know what's in the smoldering ruins.
Well, it couldn't be any worse than this.
We could
Oh,
come
yes,
across-
it could.
We could come across like another giant creature, and then we're fighting two at the same time. And then
But
it's
it
terrible.
could be like Godzilla versus King Kong. So if we run into something even nastier, maybe it won't want to eat us. It'll go after the other thing because they're legends and they have to fight. That's how that works.
No, or they team up against us.
You've had a very fortunate life, haven't you?
There's one right there.
Oh,
Get him.
okay.
And there's another one. Excuse me.
Got him once.
He's not paying attention. Oh,
Are you okay?
no.
Oh, Keely? Where are you? Oh dear. That's not good.
She's like muttering to herself, it's not an adventure if you don't have a sword.
Oh, it's always
So-
an adventure. You could have won.
So can I spend 2 adversity points to pull a sword from my bag?
You can spend one because it's dramatically awesome.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Tam's like, oh,
Is this your sword?
you mean something like this? And he just hands her a sword.
How did you? Why do you have a sword in your bag? This is really heavy.
Well, you never.
Are you sure you're not
No.
Gryffindor?
But they have
No.
swords.
Her.
Me?
Gryffindor? Oh yeah.
I can like swords and not
Yeah,
be
but
in
you
Gryffindor.
really like swords.
There we go. Now I'm back. Oh, what are you doing?
All right, so streamer talked into a muted mic, folks. Everyone take a shot.
Do we have playbills nearby?
Sure.
Playbills are made of paper, right? And that's made of wood. Can I use shillelagh with a playbill? Is this technically made of the same stuff I would need, right?
What pulp?
I'll allow it.
All right.
I'm doing this a lot. My eyebrows are getting tired, all right?
There's as the hesitation happens.
Okay.
Okay.
And then it stops when you, what'd you find? What?
Okay.
Why
So that was
did you do that?
that was not smart. I wanted to see what happened.
Oh.
What are you doing? You. Wait a minute. Wait.
I didn't know I was gonna pick up the
Wait.
the nail.
Wait. You,
Shut up. I
got herself just stole a ship.
Holy God.
There's a reason they call her the upstart.
Oh my God. Can't even believe that worked.
Gentlemen, I am your new captain.
Yes.
beat you, they get to win.
Okay. I can handle that. It's a 40-cent bet to me.
Bet $5.
Table max. All right. 80-cent raise. Oh, this is going to make
80 cents. 80 cents is for fools, young lady.
Oh,
All of
jeez.
it. 480. Get out.
I can't wait to save these.
I have a king. I have a king. Get out. Yes. You were wondering if I had a king? I have a king. Get out.
Out. Oh, she's going to go in. She doesn't
thinking
buy
about
it. She doesn't buy it.
Because she has a 4.
You think?
I think she has an ace 4.
Yep.
So here's the deal.
She's in.
Some would say she's in.
Oh.
Does she have the other king?
Yes.
She has the other one?
Yep, but we have the 10. And we take that pot away from her.
Yep.
Well, I did change the damage on the last one, but I didn't do anything to this one. So technically, I did not try the same trick. I tried a different one.
I feel like he's just.
And now
flipping
I'm
her
going
off
to
right now.
hide. Thank you very much. It's going to be like, please don't look at me. Hello. Cheerio.
Roll a charisma
Hello,
check.
Gov. Okay. She's not very charismatic.
That's what'll make this funny.
Congratulations, you've taunted Strahd.
Oh no. Jenna now realizing the consequences of Jenna's actions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not meaning to be taunted. I'm really just trying to get the information. Like, what other terms and conditions? You didn't let me know.
Punch the. No, I know that's a bad idea.
There is so much nope surrounding this trap. I am not here for an amulet. I am here for a traumatized rogue. Let's get the fuck out of here. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's 2.
Well, I wasn't really concerned about the amulet. I just thought that you...
Hold on, and I do you want to? I have a potion. I don't have any healing. I have a potion. Do you want to here? Take a potion.
We should probably save it for the group.
You are the group. You're part of the group. You need a potion.
Maybe re-roll.
Yeah, re-roll it. Re-roll it. The birds are important.
Everyone's in on the reroll.
I screwed these birds up earlier. We need
Come
a
on.
high roll.
We got this. Let's do this.
Oh no. Oh my.
So
every time I'm the bard who
amazing.
does not want to be I'm really bad at being a bard.
That is amazing.
Worst bard ever.
Whoop. And with that, we're back. All right. We left off. Everyone has regathered at the Brass Crab for now. And that does seem to be, over the course of the afternoon going into the evening, the place. Very quickly, you can find out from others that one of the piers off the back of the crab that goes out into the water is where they are planning the memorial, using the stage and the pier out the back as the final memorial place. There'll be a moment where you might not even recognize Beckett when he comes in, because before he was dressed simply in his shirt and breeches, and now he is in the full armor, identifying him as a Knight of the Rose, which is one of the... Oh, crap, I'm going to get this one wrong. I believe it's one of the highest ranks in the knighthood.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, cool. I'm not wrong.
There's like 3 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like
Yep.
if the basic grunts are at the bottom, then Knight of the Rose either has to be highest or second highest.
Yep, the Knight of the Rose is the highest rank you can achieve. So the Knight of the Crown is like kind of your entry level. So, but the Knight of the Rose are considered the best of the best. And there's a moment where like you can pick up a certain sense that he's seen a lot and that he's probably earned what he's showing, but he only maintains the regality for a certain period. And there are cracks when he claps people on the back, welcomes them, thanks them for the journey. If the four of you are together at one of the tables, he will make a point to stop on his way by, shake everyone's hands, thank everyone by name, getting Mel's name correct, with a wink, no less. He will also very politely put a dagger down in front of Karina to set it on the table, just in case you feel a need to bring it back to me later for old time's sake. You'll have it ready.
Thank you.
And then, of course, he gives Yalme a huge hug as he makes his way out the back and then disappears to finish the preparations. In your drinking, you didn't probably catch Cudgel passing by. So that when you head out, you can see that she and Beckett are preparing to lower a boat off the back of the dock. It's adorned with flowers from one side to the other. And over time, people come out and add more to the top of it, saying something to either Cudgel or Beckett or both. Would any of the four of you want to go?
Forgot to get flowers.
There are baskets of flowers by the door.
Then
They've got you covered.
All right, then he just like grabs a basket.
Yeah. Someone puts their hand actually very cautiously on Tra's shoulder as he picks up the whole basket. And they kind of just look at Tra. And
Okay. he like, big mitts and grabs like a bunch, and then it's like, and he points like one, and he weaves them back into the basket until there's just like a kind of a half broken daisy kind of thing, and then he'll wander out to the end of the dock and give him a chest thump and let the daisy drift down onto the pile.
Beckett and Cudgel each holding one of the ropes, and they both take a moment to either clap you on the shoulder or shake a hand. Go ahead, Grace. You were starting to talk. Or no,
it was me.
Okay.
Karina will also make her way out there, but she'll just kind of like pull out a bunch of flowers that she had grabbed when she came into the tavern and just place them on the pile.
Okay. And then Mel and Phoebus should start keeping their distance for now.
Like, would this be a thing that would be expected to do?
Are we supposed to speak after we drop off flowers?
No one's speaking when they put the flowers in the boat, except maybe to say a few brief words to Beckett and Cudgel. No one's giving speeches at this stage.
Fantastic. Okay, I will also, Mel will also grab flowers. And after she sets them in the boat, she will turn to Sir Beckett and say, a great honor for a great man. And then keep walking.
Phoebus is very careful about everything that he does. He picks a flower specifically. He'll freshen it up a little bit with some prestidigitation. And then he'll take it to the boat and place it, and not quite being able to reach, uses a mage hand to just sort of gently nudge it into place.
Yeah. Perfect. A few more people take their turns. Frostwind actually comes in and places another flower similar to the one that he gave Karina in the boat. Or he kind of slinks back into the crowd. And pretty much everyone you've seen over the course, it seems like everyone you have had a chance to meet somehow is packing onto this pier. And after things kind of stop and there's a long pause where no one comes out, you can start to hear a very light fiddle being played from one of the other pier docks. So a bit away from where the crowd is, but you can hear it wafting over, and it's soon joined by sounds of a flute. And then a very light, steady drum beat. And Beckett will turn with one hand holding the rope and say to everyone, "You all knew Ispin as a friend. Before he died, he told me this. There should be tales, not tears, for an old scoundrel like me. Make sure everyone knows my stories when I head off on the greatest adventure of them all." And he nods at everyone. "So let's do just that." He turns to Cudgel, and together they ease the boat down into the water. And Cudgel speaks up. "Ach, on the eve of the Kingfisher Festival, we celebrate you, Ispin. Good travels, friend." And you watch as the boat starts to drift out on the tides and on the current until it gets out about towards the center of the river and just starts to disappear down the way. There's a long silence before Cudgel and Beckett step together. And there's a moment where they kind of look at each other and see who's going to say it. "Ach, now enough of standing about like a bunch of sorry sorts. We've got stories to tell." And he points towards the door. And everyone starts to make their way in. The spirit rapidly changes as everyone takes a seat inside the brass crab. Those that have them. There's even a little jostling to get back to the table you were at, as there's almost like a race to get to chairs because the place is wall-to-wall people. Y'all may kind of starts to put out drinks and then we'll pause and go, "Well, hey, someone needs to be up here. Who's got the first story? We don't celebrate a man with just simply drinking."
All right, I got it.
Give us the opening hook of the story. As Trot climbs up on the bar.
And he kind of like scuffs his big hobnail boots and is like, it's like a little weird for him to be in front of a crowd when he's not killing someone. So this is like this weird disjointed feel for him. It's like a bit of anxiety, like, wait, is someone going to come at me? Everyone's looking at me. But then he'll, do you want to do stories or just like
give us the hook of the story gist? The story about Ispin you're going to tell.
Yeah, it's basically him and a teacher rescuing him from the pit.
Oh,
yeah,
a big true story.
Yeah.
All right.
And the big parts of it that are, he'll fall quiet at some bits, but for the most part it's a pretty heartfelt story, and it's not funny or whatever really, but his fumbling tell of it does make a few chuckles here and there.
All right.
Throughout it. So.
For giggles, roll me a performance check.
All right.
How much did you make charisma dump stat?
I did not. It's intelligence and wisdom, because he was basically a pit fighter. Performance.
Sense of theatrics.
Yep. 12.
All right. Serviceable. There's polite applause at the end. Everyone seemed genuinely moved. And Beckett was, that is exactly the kind of man Ispin was. Put his life on the line for this good dwarf.
and he'll like jump off of the stage like and just like land heavy and kind of, you know, walk through the crowd nodding like okay, trying to keep in the whole tears of the situation. So, you know, but then yeah, back to the mugs, back to the table, and he'll clink mugs with everyone, kind of like, you know, toast.
You'll have a chance to see him come back in again.
Well, I got it started anyway.
Were you talking, Grace? Because you're muted.
So sorry. I'm going to clap my hand on Traw's shoulder and say that was a terrific start to tonight. Thank you, Traw, for getting that hit off.
Or do make it cry, and he, you know, puts his hands in his eyes to make sure that no tears are going to leak out, and then he gets his mug and, you know, kind of grumbles. And
if it's okay,
I'm going to hit him harder. I'm going to hit him one more harder on the back.
If it's okay with everyone, we're going to take it a little bit lighter now. And you look, and there's Frostwind has climbed up onto the bar, and he's holding a full pint of ale that he's swinging around either because he is profoundly strong or he has completely drained. I think when we tell the stories of Ispen, we need to tell the story that he loved to tell when he found himself locked in the dungeons of a mountain dwarf nation, but he secured his release by promising to find a sack of flour. And then he starts to tell it. And it has some twists and some turns and some moments of, wait, he used a herring to kill the guy? And as he finishes, there's some more applause. And Yalmi kind of glances at your table to see if any of you are going to share some tale of Ispen's heroics. And in the long pause, Sean climbs up on the bar. Yes, so seeing that we need to keep this going, I remember Ishbin was always going on about the night that he spent in a rock's nest, only to have the sun come up and realize it was a manticore's nest, and he was surrounded by eggs that were hatching. And you gotta know, there's scary and there's terrifying and there's a freshly hatched manticore. So, and he just kind of keeps going with the story of how Ispen eventually escapes and tamed 3 of the manticores until such time as they showed a little too much competence and had to be released into the wild. As he's finishing his story, you hear this kind of a guffaw from near the door. Ugh, it was tiring even when Ispen told that one.
Stink eye.
Wait, do we know who said this, or is just some random person?
You glance over and there's a table that actually only has 1 chair at it. And despite the wall-to-wall people, there seems to be a zone of nothingness, a void, around that one. As a young man in very well-cut clothes is sitting with his boots up on the table itself. He has
None of us recognizes him?
You would not have crossed paths with him. Or if you have, you knew not. Like, he never gave you, if you cross paths, it was him telling you to get out of his way.
Oh. And it's Sean that's talking on the...
Sean was the one wrapping up his story. He seems to have not really paid attention to the insult.
So he didn't hear him.
Oh, he heard it. He ignored it.
Mel is going to yell out, "Keep going, Sean."
You want me to tell another one of Ishbinch? I don't know. Is that proper for me to do more?
I didn't know that she was catching him at the end of the story. Sorry, I thought that she was...
No. It's fine. It's fine. He always, oh yeah, go for it. Sean goes, oh, and he climbs back up on the bar. Well, you know, we all know. Maybe we should take this one in turns. For the 3 days that Ishbin found himself chained to an oar on a Minotaur pirate ship. Right? Wait, we all remember that one when he was crossing the Blood Sea of Ishtar? Yeah. Here, I'll get it started and then we'll hand it off. And as soon as he says it, you hear the call, oh, thank God, I can't wait for that moment.
How close is he to our table?
10 feet. You can't reach out and touch him. You'd have to get up and walk.
But we could like turn to him.
Oh, yeah.
And death stare kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tra's giving him the stink eye already.
I'm joining Tra.
He has a silver hip flask that he's drinking out of with fine engravings on it. He's not even having the local ale.
Just gonna say, he brought his own to a bar. Oh, I hate this guy.
Karina's kind of like look over her shoulder, like, you know, playing with like one of the daggers, you know, that she has on the table. Just kind of giving him a, you know, grin or mean grin, you know.
Can I call Yalmay over and have a drink sent over to him because he's obviously too poor to buy his own beer at the bar?
She can. Oh yeah, Bakaris the Younger is too poor. He'll love to hear this one. And she goes back behind the bar.
What was the name she said?
Bakaris.
Oh my gosh. Of course he has a name like Bakaris.
Bakaris the Younger.
What's Phoebus doing?
That is an awesome question.
He's trying to get he's doing that thing that people with social anxiety do where he's rehearsing in his own mind the story that he has in mind. So he's kind of a little bit how you say
zoned.
A little bit zoned out. Airhead.
All right. So he's not getting these, and he's not hearing or paying attention to this asshat. Okay.
No.
All right.
Bakaris the Younger, more like Bakaris the Heckler. Phoebus will clear his throat, screwing up his courage. Like, perhaps this is one that not many have heard.
The story starts to wind down, and Phoebus has a chance to get up. It's kind of encouraged to take the stage. And there's applause as the last storyteller, because Sean started it, and the story got handed off several times as people volunteered to, oh, let me take it from here. Let me take it from here. And it is a weaving tale. Multiple interactions with gorgons, mermaids, minotaurs. At one point, a raft made entirely of turtles and human hair.
Mm-hmm. This sounds familiar. Sea turtles, mate.
Sea turtles, mate.
Great men copy, best men steal. Phoebus gets up there and Bakaris starts to clap. Finally, someone with some potential talent. And as he says that, Yami goes, oh. And she sets a wine glass in front of him. This would be from the young lady. She was concerned you might not have the finances to provide your own beverage tonight. And he looks at it and he picks it up and he raises it in Mel's direction.
I'll raise my beer as well.
And then he tips it over and sets it upside down on the table.
Phoebus, taking no notice, has already started his story.
It's Phoebus. Yeah, Phoebus didn't see this because Phoebus had his back turned because he was climbing up on the bar. And he turns around to this.
I think Mel will still toast to him, and then she's just gonna down her beer. And after she finishes, she's gonna say, it's probably not gonna sound very clever, but she's gonna just say to him, "For the wasted alcohol," and then she'll call Yalmay over for another beer.
Phoebus launches into the story. What's the hook of it?
It's a story about how Ispin, his father, like Phoebus's father and his teacher, all got caught on a runaway cart, and then things got worse as they got chased by goblins. So they had to simultaneously try and keep the cart from falling apart, drive it, and fight off goblins. And the whole story culminates in all of them bailing out of the cart at the last minute as the goblins have climbed up on it, and it goes careening off of a cliff.
And as you finish the story, people start to applaud. You hear a call from your favorite table. Of course it goes over a cliff. It wouldn't do anything less dramatic. Please.
Well, that's how it happened, so I don't really know how else it would end.
Roll me a performance check real quick.
Sure.
Let's see how the story is received by everyone that's not named Bakaris.
Okay. Performance. I'm not trained in that, but my stat for it ain't half bad. 17.
17. It is a story people find rather impressive.
Phoebus heard this story since he was a wee babe. He grew up on this shit.
How perfect, too. I get the prime? He says to Grace. You only get one prime and you're wasting it on me?
Not at all. That was for a very good performance from Phoebus to the group, so that we could all and to a wonderful DM and a wonderful Karina and a wonderful Tra.
Thank you for that. And since a subscription or follow happened, we take a minute to ask one of the characters, and we are going to pick on Greybeard. What exactly is he feeling right now as this has all been happening?
Go ahead.
With the stories of being told, the heckler, Phoebus has put himself out there.
Oh yeah, the wonderful artwork by Danae there is basically his inside. The vein in his forehead is throbbing, and he's just like, he's seeing himself Hulk smash this idiot into the floor. Like never. Yeah, he's trying to. Definitely he's holding it back because this is like a public situation, and he's trying not to just be a bit fighting monster, but it's close. I think if anything, the mead and beer we've been drinking all day is helping cut the edge off. Whereas if he was not mentally lubricated with alcohol, he would be on fire and murdering this guy.
If he was sober, this would be worse.
Right. There it is. Yeah. Good way to put it.
So tell you what. No, there's no negative consequence to this. Because this is whenever we get this a sub or a follow, we pause the game to ask what a character is feeling. Plus it can be kind of fun to get some neat stuff out. But that's fair. Baracus is like he shows no sign of stopping anytime soon.
Wait, Baracus or Bakaris?
Bakaris. Yes, Bakaris. Not the R is later. The downside to not writing your own names for NPCs. You have to keep looking them up.
And then how did they pronounce it versus am I pronounce it? And yeah.
I only do this once.
I think that Try eventually will be like, I show some respect.
I would if those that are getting up on the bar would show some respect to the art of storytelling.
You can do any better?
I couldn't possibly do any worse.
We'll get your ass up there then.
Danae, was that something cutting? Because we missed it.
Oh, no, just mumbling to myself. Don't worry. I mean, clearly he has something to say. Might as well say it up there.
As the stories are going and you're trying desperately to contain your desire to turn Bakaris into a blood puddle, you also notice that a figure that starts to stick out a bit from the crowd as she slips closer and closer to light, or light is taken more to where she's standing in one of the darker corners, which is a blue, the shape of a blue-skinned elf. Now, those of you from town do not recognize her. She definitely has come in for this particular event. And is mostly keeping to herself. Despite the fact that she somewhat sticks out from everyone, no one seems to really be noticing too much as they're focusing either on the story or your table, which is focusing on Bakaris.
So it's obvious that there's like tension building between the tables. Like people are paying attention to what's going on. Did Bakaris go up to talk?
Oh gosh, no, he hasn't moved. He just continues to drink from his flask. And
okay, then I called him out, and he's like, "Oh, of course I could," and then just continues to sit there.
Yep.
So Mel's gonna pop up and say, "So you aren't? Are you some sort of coward, some poser, if you will?"
Yeah.
Okay. He had glares back. I wouldn't want to ruin the consistency of what's happening on stage.
Well, then shut your yap.
Or we'll shut it for you.
Oh, there it is.
And if you aren't enjoying yourself, then perhaps it'd be best if you left.
Please tell me that the crowd erupts in applause for that response, Phoebus.
Pretty good role play. Give one of you roll me a persuasion or an intimidation check.
I'd be happy to.
I think the last word came from Phoebus, so that's the natural roll.
Nice.
Which was?
11?
Okay. That's solid. It's a roll.
He's not intimidated by politeness.
No. Mel has him a little bit on edge, but before he can get up, you see Cudgel climb up on the stage. She starts talking about the grand plans. Because planning is the key. You always need to have a good plan if you're going to be going into any situation, be it battle, retirement. Many people underestimate the importance of planning for retirement. You can't adventure your entire days. But Ispin, his plans were legendary. And she starts going through this thing about plans and just all the things that he wanted to do and then saw through before he passed. His plan to retire someplace quiet and beautiful. And what could be better than Vogler? And his plan to see the fruits of his work. And what better? She points at your table to see friends and children of friends and apprentices of friends coming together, and she points back at the bar, and to see all of us hear the plan he had to build a community. And then you hear Bakaris, and his plan to just die, I'm sure, too.
I'm gonna huck my mug. Can't take it. I gotta huck my mug at his head.
Make your attack roll.
Karina's gonna turn around and say, I think we've had quite enough of you now.
Traw, if it wasn't gonna be you, it was gonna be Mel. I was like, I had been muted quick enough, and you just.
That's gonna hit.
Okay, I was gonna say
yeah.
22.
22. You totally beat him on the side of the head with that mug. Ale splashes everywhere. There's a moment of like, you can see the moment of shock in his face of like, did you really? As the beer kind of runs down, and then he's halfway to his feet and his rapier is coming out.
I stand up as he's standing up.
And as both of your tables get to their feet, the blue-skinned elf just walks casually past you. Between the two of you, as she kind of puts her hands up, and almost with a voice that sounds like she's on the verge of singing. Ispin was always one who believed in the beauty of stories told with a melody. We should not forget, friends, other forms of passing on tales of time gone by. And literally standing between the two of you, she just starts to sing. And as the notes sort of waft along, it's double checking my notes. You can just sense the rise and fall. Does anyone speak Elven? Specifically,
I do.
Sylvanesti.
I didn't get to pick us when I got to pick my languages in
Then you're on
D&D
board.
And that's what I'm talking about.
It's a story about a life well lived, encapsulated with many tragedies that are constantly being overcome. That the message of the song is just that life is overcoming tragedy and celebrating the victories along the way, up into including the eternity of being a memory. And that truly the only way to live forever is in the company and story of friends.
Mel is going to be crying.
Mel is in fucking good company. And as she finishes the story, she slides back to sit down in a chair that has been vacated.
And there's no other chairs next to her, right?
No, the Bakar is just ducked out during the song.
Good. All right.
And she picks up the wine glass and sets it upright.
Gonna call Yahweh over. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna wait a second. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah. If you don't, Yalmay comes over and pours wine into that glass for her and is like herself just like, I don't know how we're going to top that tonight. That was beautiful. And the elf just sort of nods a few times and starts to drink the wine down. With that, most people seem kind of like spent. Like it's done. Especially, there's even a bit of a, you can see one person start to stand up and Sean just puts his hand on the guy's shoulder. No, there's no going after that, son. No, you're done. No, don't do that. Just trust me. Eventually, though, the elf will finish her glass. People are starting to say their good nights and filter out. Beckett will stop at your table and make a point of thanking everyone for having come. And he will actually make a point to look at Phoebus and say, that was a damn good story. Your teacher would be proud of what you had to say tonight.
Thank you very much, sir.
He looks at the rest of you for a moment. As the DM invites you, if you're going to roleplay, this is your last chance before he leaves.
Oh.
Would you like to join us for a drink?
No. There comes a point when every soldier needs to realize that it's time to put the campfire out and retire to the tent. Or keep, as it were.
Well, we would be glad to have your company, but I understand how much time and energy must be spent into planning something as grand as this.
All I did was invite good people to come together and celebrate a great man. You did all the real work.
Thank you, sir. Second.
I still think you should have taken the book about the vampire in the castle, but yeah.
I'm sure, sir, that I will take you up on that another time.
You'll have to talk to Hypatia. That one's hers.
Only there was a book about a dragon and a lance.
Well, that's a rather on-the-nose reference, Greg. He takes a moment and smooths out his little mustache. Bid you all good evening. I'll go get out of this. Starting to feel like I'm at that point where it's time to, get out of it.
Evening to you.
And he starts to go, and you notice that, like, right behind him is the young lady with the black hair that also exits right behind him.
Black hair. Wait, who are we talking about?
Oh, gonna slide right past you. The one that passed you back up at the tower.
God damn it. God damn it. The one that just passed by before?
Yeah, she's been hiding out along one of the walls.
I don't think there's anything that we can do now.
Yep. Her appearance is more to note that she was there. And that she's basically leaving with Beckett.
How old is she and how old is he?
He's probably pushing 60. She's probably in her 20s. They are not holding hands.
Are they giving each other little sly
No.
looks? I'm just kidding.
Googly eyes.
No. There's no April's August thing happening here.
I guess my last real question, genuine question,
Please.
is does he recognize that she is following after him?
Yes.
Like, okay, then we're fine.
Yeah. She's not sneaking after him. It's more of a maintaining the polite distance that one squire should maintain.
Okay. Oh, she's a squire.
And as you watch them go, you realize that you have not seen when the elf disappeared.
And
she
did
has
we recognize her as an elf?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Pointed ears, blue skin. Yes.
Okay. Can you believe that an elf was here tonight?
I know, right? I haven't seen one of them in ages.
I don't think I've ever seen one.
Never seen one either.
To which most of the table should go, huh?
No, I thought that it's a secret still that I'm an elf, a half elf.
Is it? Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I don't think that anyone really knows that.
Fair.
Yeah,
Do I know? I don't know if I know.
I don't think that we've spoken about it. Well, I don't know. We're pretty darn close.
Yeah.
So
we'll keep it at no.
I would think that Karina would know, but also Karina knows to like
not talk. If Karina knows, she knows not to talk about it.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Elves are blue.
Then?
Certainly, sorry.
So no one saw where she went.
No. She just disappeared. I don't know where she went.
I suppose they tend to do that. If they didn't, then we would have seen a lot more of them.
I agree.
So elves are blue and invisible.
Only some of them.
No. All right.
I didn't even see her come in, nor did I see her leave. I don't know.
Well,
She was
could
so
still be
quiet.
here then, I guess.
That's some magic you should learn, Phoebus.
Oh, well. Sort of scoffs as though that's way outside of his ability.
Scoffs the other direction. Yes. Okay, I see. Well, that was a thing. So, by what was his name? Byronquus, Barachus, Baragaboo,
Bakaris.
Bakaris. So, I mean, he disappeared too. He seems like someone we're gonna run into again.
Oh, I hope
Tross says with a hopeful look in his eye.
Oh, I certainly hope not. Did you see him reach for his blade?
Rapier, as if that was going to do much damage.
I'd be surprised. They can do some damage.
Well, if we do run into him again, I think he's going to be in quite a run for his money.
I'm sure that Traw's big blade is going to do a heaping more damage than his little one.
Well, he will be biting off more than he bargained for if he goes toe-to-toe with Traw. I'll let you know that.
And Traw just like snarls.
Which is why it would be within our best interest to strongly encourage him not to.
You take the time to retire to your rooms for the night, enjoying the benefits of not having to leave much. So you're probably among the last of the people of reveling that's still in the common room before each of you heads off and crashes into a good solid sleep after a fairly active and engaging day. You wake the next morning, and as you come out into the common room, you see the young lady with the black hair is seated waiting. And when she sees any of you come in, she'll immediately make a point of waving you over.
I think that's Mal's cue, I think. Or
Hi.
Phoebus. It wouldn't be Traw. Traw sleeps until...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I'll but we don't even know her name, right? Besides that she's the squire.
Yeah.
Okay.
You haven't met her yet.
I'll just walk up and you're Sir Beckett Squire, correct? I'm borrowing one of your books. I'm so grateful that you were willing to part with it for a short while.
I am. It's good to meet you. Hypatia Darktide.
Hypatia, it's wonderful to meet you. You can
What
call
are
me
any
Mel.
books? I'd be certain that you hadn't. Which book do you think of mine do you think you have?
Sir Beckett let me borrow one of the books about the short stories of folklores and gods.
I'm afraid he was playing with you. That one's not mine.
Oh.
But it's
well, I'm glad to hear I'm not taking one of your books then.
But it's a pleasure to be meeting you. And when your friends are here, I hope you don't mind if I interrupt you before you have your breakfast. But Sir Beckett wanted to meet with you before the day begun.
Just me or me and
no.
Phoebus?
I believe it's all four of you.
Oh, wonderful.
And over the next few minutes, everyone will eventually emerge. She takes a moment to kind of pull her hair back and tie it up. It's this thick black mess that when it's not tied, it kind of just poofs in every direction. And then she pulls it back again. Right. We do have one stop to make. He did make it very clear to me that I was to stop off at the fishbowl for a breakfast pies. And then, as I said, he was very anxious to see y'all before the day begun. Said there was a present for you.
All right.
Isn't?
Aye. And she'll gesture towards the door if you're ready to proceed.
All right.
Tries
After
just
you.
Let's go then.
You start to make your way towards the castle. So and she'll actually glance at Karina. If you don't mind me asking, is it true the stories that I heard about? It's been tracking you down 7 days to catch up with you to get back a dagger from someone you borrowed it from? Of course, he said borrowed. I think we all know what he meant, but he's rather polite about it. Did he really do that, though?
And
And
he
you
did.
managed to get off with a dagger that valuable?
I didn't know it was so valuable. It just looked pretty and shiny to me. So I thought it was nice something to have.
Amazing. And I've heard so many stories about your teacher. She glances at Phoebus.
Mm-hmm.
And then she kind of pauses, waits.
Yeah, he also waits.
Right. And but no, it's a pleasure to meet all of you.
right. You said something about pie.
I'm sorry. I want to know what the vibe was when she said, "I've heard so many stories about your teacher," which, like, the normal response to that would be all good things, I hope. And I just imagined like a silence after that. Like, what was the vibe there?
She was more like, "Oh, you don't really want to talk about it. New topic."
He was just okay, cool.
She seems legitimately happy to have met everyone. She's dressed very similar to the day before. Her clothes are clean and fairly well maintained, but not fancy by any stretch. And the sword that she has strapped to her side hangs like she's used to having it there. Even though it shows, and Tra will definitely pick up on this, it shows no sign of wear.
Train, no combat. Got it. And yeah, you said something about pies for breakfast or something.
If you can hold just here just a moment, I'll be running in, grab a few, and be back out.
Right. And he'll follow her in because he doesn't realize that she might be buying for them. So he's gonna like buy his own like bunch of pies and be like eating them on the way up there.
As soon as you get to the door, she'll glance. No, please. It's on the bucket. He sent me with the coin.
All right. And then once she buys the pies, he reaches for one.
Yeah.
She comes out with 3, meat pies to hand out, and Tra's walking along with his. And you make your way up towards the tower. When you reach it, Beckett is dressed. He's wearing he's not in his shirt that he was before, but instead he has a layer of what looks like a quilted, like almost like a quilt that's been turned into a shirt. Tied tight in place, and a chainmail shirt over that, with all kinds of straps and buckles showing. And you can see on the table next to him has laid out all the pieces of his armor again. Hypatia stifles a yawn as she comes in and immediately goes to start picking up more of the pieces. Beckett glances over and says, wait, before you begin. And he gestures and she pauses and turns over and picks up this large leather-wrapped item. It's about the size of a large platter. I feel it appropriate to pass on to you an item of Ispin's. He wanted it to be carried on after he had passed, and, well, to be quite honest, I'm not sure which of you would find the most use for it, but I don't want it to sit in one of the houses here in the village. If you can make me one promise, I feel comfortable bequeathing it to you. And Hypatia puts it in front of Tra, actually. And
What's
Beckett
the
kind of
promise?
gestures to unwrap it.
Oh, so don't have to make the promise before unwrapping it. Okay, that's how I heard it.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, he'll, hit it Christmas.
It is a beauty. You can't really tear the leather, but you can unwrap,
Right.
unfold it. It is an incredibly well maintained, but well used shield with a large, scarred broadleaf tree painted on the front of it. And you can see where there's different colors of green for the tree because it's been painted and repainted and touched up. And each touch up lines up with a solid scar along the metal.
Oh, nice. Y'all use shields? It's like as big as Karina.
I have no use for that.
Not for me either.
Phoebes?
What do you think?
I mean, you could hide behind it.
Well, that's what I have you for.
So he'll nod and stuff, and then he'll pull the other shield we had, the one with the pirate mark on it, out from underneath his gambeson and off his back, and he'll like throw that on the floor like wonga 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 like a big coin, and then as it settles, we see what he thinks is a pirate mark but is not, and then he'll put the other one like on his arm for now, and he'll be like, oh, hey, I'm glad to have my turtle shell gone.
As it is, Beckett doesn't even notice the shield as you strap it on.
Oh, good.
That is exactly the look I was hoping for. And all I ask is that the four of you participate in today's reenactment.
I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
So we gave a charcoal like edging of the Dragon Queen shield to the guard. We kept the shield. We're good to get rid of the shield, but is it a good idea for us to like get a picture of it or draw a picture of it, or like Phoebus, do you like know it?
We could make another etching of it.
Okay. Because I'm cool getting rid of like dead weight. I'm just wondering if like I'm wondering if we need that.
You do not need that shield.
No,
well, just the picture of like the Dragon Queen sigil.
Yep. The DM will tell you can comfortably ditch the shield. You know that logo. And as Beckett asks, Hypatia actually has it. Like she looks at you like you are going to say yes, right?
Oh, I'm in. Yeah. I'm in.
I'm in as well.
I'm in.
Phoebus quietly etching the shield.
Thank you.
And then, like, after a moment of silence, he looks up and he goes, I will help in whatever way I can.
Excellent.
Just sort of shrugs his noodly arms.
Ispin would be so proud to see that shield carried at the front of the formation today. You honor him. Now, I believe there's a festival to get to. And with that, we will start with the festivities next week.
Dang.
You have finally met the NPCs that actually survive into importance.
Oh, good.
That was my mistake last week.
Good to note.
That any NPC was of great importance.
Just because they have a name doesn't mean they have that much dialogue after you click talk to them.
My apologies, y'all.
No.
Last week.
Oh, you're fine.
No. And Hypatia's accent might change over the week. I haven't really settled on it yet.
Okay.
Because I was going to do that quasi-Irish until Nebula's like, I want to do an accent. I'm like, ooh, her English sounds a lot like my off-Irish crap. We'll figure it out. But, so that's where we are tonight. That's where we got to. Ego, thanks for hanging out in the chat. I do see you. I would have chatted more, but I was, doing. But thanks for coming
He's
back
busy
again.
He's busy in Vegas
Yeah.
at TwitchCon.
Oh, nice.
Also looks like he's busy trying to convince you to cast the squire into the lake.
Oh no, he was calling me the witch. I was the witch. I should be cast in the lake. That's why I said she floated, or she was floating. She's a witch.
Yeah. It's one of those. There's a whole story to. Oh gosh, there's a whole story to that. On that note, let's go around the table. We'll go reverse order with who you are, who you were, possibly where to find you on the interwebs, and then lastly, did you have a star moment tonight that you would like to see more of at this particular table, or that you just want to call out as cool? And we're going to kick it off with Danae Keener of DanaeKeener.com first.
That's me. Hi, everybody. I'm Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. What is my star today? I don't know. I usually go last. My my star is the entire interaction with Phoebus and Mel and the Kingfisher. That felt really organic and fun. And I love like story moments that are just allowed to like breathe and play out naturally, and that felt really natural to me.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And Graybeard?
Graybeard of Graybeard's Tavern. You can find me with that moniker everywhere. Tonight I played Troll, and I really liked how without or maybe it was orchestrated, it just didn't feel orchestrated. It felt really natural that it was like, hey, let's swap who we hung with last week. and you know, the dwarf and the kender wander off in one direction, and the half elf, unbeknownst to everyone, and Phoebus go the other. I thought that was really like smooth and very, very cool. Very it would happen in a TV show, and hence because it happened here, it felt amazing. That's my moment. And my wish is that we get a hold of Lord Bysorius again at some point and smash him. He needs a good thrashing. So.
And Grace?
As usual, Tyrion's gone wild everywhere. I'm not even worried about that right now. What I want to give the stars to, and I don't care if it's cheesy or dumb, but I have a star to give to everybody. I think that one of my stars, I really enjoyed seeing Karina get flirted with, and the reactions to there, as well as the not really like feeling it, but like, you know, like being playful about it. I love seeing that from Nebula. I love how to the book Danae plays Phoebus in the way that character is so fleshed out. I feel like I know exactly what Phoebus is about at all times, always. I would say one of my favorite moments tonight, the star goes to Graybeard Traw for putting Bakaris in his motherfucking place. I absolutely adored seeing that, and I really appreciate that. And I will also say that I know I speak a little bit from instinct and reaction and from the heart, and I really, really appreciate and give a star to Rob for going with the punches and with everything that I say, because I know that I can come off the cusp, but Rob is so great at coming from the cusp as well. And I super, super enjoy the dialogue there. And so that's my star for everybody.
Awesome. Nebula, do you want to anchor it out?
Yes, I am Nebula. You can find me at Nebula Gaming everywhere, pretty much. I'm playing Karina, the rogue, the Kender. And my star was also the interaction between Phoebus and Milerna tonight. Also, specifically, like Grace said, Phoebus is just so, I don't know. I just feel like every interaction with Phoebus is just pure like Phoebus. Like he is just so like well done. I don't know. I just love Danae's, characterization of Phoebus. It's just so good. I can envision him like in front of me every time. It's perfect. I love it.
We're making her blush. Awesome. And my name is Rob, aka Lantern Noir. As cheesy as it is, my star of the night is always playing with this amazing group of people. I will give a shout out to Grace in particular because of the way we rolled an interaction with an active god. And one of the things I really do love about Dragonlance is even though the gods have been gone, they are actual fleshed out characters. They're not this we pray to and we hope, but they are actual in this universe. As the party will find more, they actually will manifest and walk among the people, which is so fun. And I won't spoil the original novels any, but there's a lot of fun stuff with that in the original novels. And it's kind of fun to have a player at the table who can roll with it and roll with it authentically. Because the moment of like, that's what I like of my followers. And like, you could see that both Grace and Mel went blink as it fully clicked. And it was just a beautiful bit of role play. So I want to shout out Grace for being such a wonderful player tonight. So on that note,
I've got a follow up star.
Go.
It's no, seriously, what's her actual name? Is it Mel or is it Belle? Or like, which one?
Yeah, Rob, that was really good.
Well, I'll be honest, that one was orchestrated in as much as I kind of felt like Beckett needed to level up a little bit with everybody. Like you got to get back into going. He's a legit nice guy. He's just old, a little bit set in his ways, and a little bit suspicious of people who want to talk about dead gods.
I think it's also, to be completely honest, there is nothing that feels worse than correcting a nice old man.
Fair. It is such a tough spot. It's a tough spot.
That's why she Valerna.
All right. I will be back here. My next game is going to be probably with everyone here. Sunday morning, I'll be doing my Coffee and Chaos. I think the Lost City is staying on hiatus. I would love to keep playing it, but my life schedule does not really permit me to do too much. So unfortunately, I think that game's actually winding down. So we will be back next week, though. As far as I know, there are no conflicts for next Thursday night. So I'm looking forward to an opportunity to get this group back together again as they get to celebrate. They get to take part of the Kingfisher Festival, get into all kinds of hijinks and other such things, and kind of go from there. I'm trying to find a place to send everybody, so we can change it up a little bit from last time with an interesting, relevant destination. I'm fully open to a suggestion at this point, as I don't have a lot of friends that are streaming at this time. Although we could pop over here.
I unfortunately don't have any suggestions.
Looks like the Hype Goblin is streaming right now.
Yeah, I would, but we popped in there last week. I do try to change it up from time to time. So,
I would have rated Charles the Elder, but he's not.
Not on anymore?
LB?
Is LB on?
She was.
Let me double check real quick. So she is. That's where we're going. If not, I've got somebody we can hop into. She is back off again.
Yeah, I think she's done.
So that's okay. We got somebody. I stumbled onto this stream a while back. She was actually we were playing. I think it was when she was playing a particular game about a magical school, and I keep popping in with her from time to time. She's a lot of fun, and she does. Right now, she's playing through Breath of the Wild, which is itself a fun romp, which I think we're all kind of due for a little palate. You just kind of come on down a bit now. Get out of the high drama and get into some of the goofy. So tell her what you said. Say hi when you arrive. Yeah, I could read into Critical Role, but I'm not that courageous. So we're going to go ahead and hit that. And when we get there, again, tell her hi from us. I'm going to debrief with my players, and then I'm going to crash. Folks, until the next time we hang out, I'll see you Sunday morning for coffee. I'll see you back here for episode 4 of Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen. Till then, stay safe.
Bye, Charles.